Three of you have identified that labor is one of the leading problems for the industry, and I was over in China in November. China's biggest problem is how to put 300 million people to work. One of the U.S. states right now has unemployment that's over 20%. I'd like your thoughts on, could the human resources, immigration, and training programs be put in place so that your industry, which I agree with you, has a future. Do you have some thoughts on how we can solve this labor problem?
Yeah, I definitely think bringing in labor from other countries is a great idea. Met a friend he's from New Zealand originally, and he started up his own company in Edmonton. That's what he does. He imports workers from New Zealand, Australia, and I think he's kind of almost spreading more so into other countries around the world. In Germany, I was in contact with a lady there as well. She runs the same kind of a company. It's basically just a young farmer exchange program. It's probably where I'm leaning towards for this upcoming year is that type of worker. You're hopefully getting somebody with farm experience. My full-time hired man right now is in Australia working on a farm through this same fellow. So I think it's a great opportunity for only people from other countries to come work here. But maybe it's an issue that, in the wintertime, how do I keep them busy for the full winter? It's tough to keep, you can keep one or two guys busy, but, if you have somebody like Lauren, probably have 3 or 4 guys, if they could go to other countries and you could maybe swap with other farms, that'd be an idea. I met a fellow in Houston, Texas 2 years ago, stayed in contact with him. Sounds like he might be losing his job, so I offered him a job to come work on my farm, but he's not too sure yet on that. He's all kind of worried about this cold weather and stuff. But for local, to solve the problem in our area, it's people just don't seem to be interested in agriculture. If you can go to the oil field and make money, or get an office job, or you're close to the city, that type of thing, it's hard to draw people to the countryside and do that type of work. So I definitely think the easiest way for myself right now, anyways, is the kind of labor trading with another country.
Well, as I said earlier, at our little town in France is where I farm. We sold farm machinery for over 25 years, and it's southeast of Regina here, of course. And the main reason that we quit was that we couldn't pay our mechanic as much to do some real heavy and intricate stuff as he could get to work in the oil field to basically just use hardly even use his body, but certainly didn't have to use his mind. So that was a problem. And as far as importing labor, yes, you'd have to have some guarantees, I think, or you'd have to be comfortable. I'd have to be comfortable myself that the person I was getting was labor ready, that the person, whatever country you get them from, you'd have to be able to drive here and be comfortable. They wouldn't have to spend 2 weeks teaching them how to run the air drill so that you were half done before he knows he's doing that sort of thing. And there's if you're going to do that, you're going to probably want to bank on it being a long-term thing, because you have to have some sort of housing and all that infrastructure set up on your farm. I couldn't see myself just jumping into it for 1 year to see how it works. I'd have to be ready on my farm for this to be a long-term thing.
Labor is a tough question to talk about, because I'm going to go back. Agriculture doesn't pay well, and we ingrained ourselves to that fact that we haven't necessarily had to pay for labor, and that's what we have to get out of a change in our attitude. We probably can hire quality labor if we're willing to pay. And that's the biggest factor that we've got to change our attitude about. And I'm kind of a cheap guy and say no lots, and that's a change that I have to make, in that the fact that, not only for us but our next generation, is that they're compensated properly. They are not only given enough cash and cash flow, but equity in return for their commitments, right? So that they will stay on the farm for a long period of time. We've been in a growth industry because we've had labor, but we're at that point where you need outside labor, and we need it for a short period of time. It's getting to be longer now because we have work 12 months of the year. And we've kind of kid ourselves over the last couple of years that we haven't needed that. But we do. And we need that aspect of, again, getting through the mindset about what kind of dollars does it take to retain labor and quality labor and give them the training. All our equipment has an extra seat. It's not a passenger seat in our operation, it's a training seat. And it's been a training seat for our children so that they understand when they're asked to operate a piece of equipment, they can. And they're ready and willing. They'll ask. That's when you know that they're ready, because they will ask to be that person to drive that piece of equipment. Up until that point in time, you can encourage them, but until they're ready to take that step, they're not ready until they're ready. And they have to have it in their own mind. And again, with us, it has to be in our mind that we're willing to pay to get further expertise in a marketplace. So when it comes to labor, you've got to pay.